Hi everyone, welcome back to WHU TV. My name is John, your host as always, and I hope you're all doing well as I always do. Sorry guys, this video has been out a little bit later than I originally planned because I had a few technical issues. There's loads of updates going on with OBS at the minute, and every time there's an update it fucks things up, so I've got to try and figure stuff out. But this is my video where we're talking about Mark Noble becoming the sporting director, or a sporting director, for West Ham United from the 2nd of January next year. I think this is an unbelievably good appointment. A PR stunt gone absolutely perfect. We all know Mark Noble's reputation within the West Ham community, boy and man. It's a great idea. My only issue with this is I hope this doesn't come back to bite him in terms of the fan base. My attitude towards Mark Noble will never change. I love the guy. He's been fantastic. But I'm just kind of thinking, if we have a really bad January or a really bad summer transfer window next year, or maybe January 24 and summer 24, it's just, I think a lot of people will point fingers at Noble when it's unduly needed. But in terms of the appointment itself, I can't think of anybody better. Not only, as David Moyes said, that he was very handy as a sounding board when he was captain in the club, he's obviously going to be a sounding board again from a technical point of view now. Noble is the perfect sort of person to be able to identify the right player and the right character of that player to make sure that it will fit in with West Ham. And also, of course, you know, a lot of people wanted this to happen, myself included, but I didn't really think this was going to be on the cards so early. However, because as I say, when we were talking about this in January, I was on, I think it was Garage Football or the West Ham Way, one of the two. We were saying about what's next for Noble in January, and I think I said to him, I'll be very surprised if he does anything very quickly, because I genuinely thought he would have stepped down, spent a year or so looking after his family, spending time with his kids. I know he did a lot of that the season just gone anyway, because he was only really involved in a handful of Premier League games and also, you know, quite a handful of European games as well. But watching the Joe Cole podcast on BT Sport the other day, I know it went up a few weeks ago, but when he said he was at Harvard University getting a business development, I think it was, degree, that kind of thought, oh, okay, well, what is he actually up to? And fair play to him, you know. I just don't think Mark Noble is going to be the sole remaining responsibility of why we're going to be bringing in the next generation of player so quickly. I think people are going to what's the word I'm thinking of? Not reintroduce, it was the word I was going to say, but it's not right. I think people are going to have that pedestal, for lack of a better way of putting it, a little bit too early for my liking. I genuinely do. I really think. But as I always say, when there's a new appointment, bearing in mind he doesn't start until the first working day of the new year, so we have to give him some time and space with that. As I always say, even when we make a new signing, give them time. Don't put too much pressure on them, regardless of the price tag or their reputation. And likewise with Noble, we all know his reputation. Just don't turn on him so quickly. You know, obviously, you know, there has been some good times when there's been players returning to the club. Trevor Brooking, Tony Cottee, Mark Nolan, Kevin Nolan, you know, Stuart Pearce. Of course, obviously, Tony Cottee came back as a more of a face of West Ham in terms of the public media rather than actually an involvement in the club itself. But at the same point, likewise with Brooking as well, to a lesser extent over the years. You know, we all know he was that caretaker manager when we started going through that awful period that, let's face it, guys, is on the verge of coming back. But I do think it's a fantastic appointment for Noble. It's a fantastic appointment from the club as well. It'll be able to give the scouting network, such as it is, really good pointers on what they should really be focusing on, rather than just trying to crowd please, like you can argue the Paqueta deal or the Scamacca deal was done. You know, those little bits and pieces here as well. You know, Flynn Downs, to a lesser extent, again, West Ham supporter all his life, comes in as a replacement for Noble. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And now, let's not forget the sporting director was also being in charge of looking about to see what the juniors are as well, if they're worthy with the step up. He's not just involved in transfers. He's going to be involved in a lot of sporting aspects that we probably will never know about until he writes his book or something like that, you know. But as always, guys, give me your thoughts on what you're thinking about on this appointment, good and bad. If you agree with me, great. If you don't agree with me, because basically I've given this given quite an evenly balanced thought on this. But I really want to know your thoughts. So, guys, as always, put your comments in the comment section below. If you've liked this, then by all means, please do click the like button. If you're new to the channel and haven't already done so, welcome, of course. But if you haven't already done so, please do like, share, and subscribe. It would be nice to get some more subscribers onto the boat. It's great news that every other live stream or so, we have somebody that has never seen the channel before and enjoyed and subscribed, and unfortunately some of them haven't come back yet, but that's probably because of commitments and TV broadcasts as it is. But yeah, it's always good to get new people on board. So even if you're a neutral, you're watching this as a Man City fan or a Wolves fan, whatever, and you're liking the channel, by all means, please do subscribe. It'd be nice to get some hammers in, of course, but it's nice to get some neutral fans in as well, as long as they're respectful. But in the meantime, guys, thank you very much for your time. Obviously, the next few weeks is back to normal. The Wolves preview will be going up at some point towards the end of next week, so keep an eye out for that. There's another video that I was planning to do, which I'm still going to be doing. There's a little bit more research I need to do on it first before I do the full video, but that'll be coming up over the weekend as well. So it's back to normal. Setting the guitar amp over to 11, as it always is. Well, it's 12 now with the new Marshall amps. But in the meantime, guys, look after yourselves, take care, and I'll see you very soon. All the best.